Hi everybody! In my previous video, I talked about using equities as our main risk asset. Naturally, the next step is to discuss asset allocation. In today's video, I'll share how I set it up for myself and my wife and the reasons behind those choices. Some of our considerations are quite specific to our own situation and preferences, so this isn't prescriptive or financial advice in any way. All my viewers are highly intelligent and you know your own situation best. It is simply for sharing and to give everyone, including myself, some food for thought. My wife and I aren't too comfortable sharing our exact net worth publicly. But to make this video meaningful, we do need a number. So let's use 3 million as our combined investable net worth as a model for discussion. Why 3 million then? DBS recently published a study called Life After Work, Preparing for a Rewarding Retirement Journey. They looked at anonymized data from 2 million customers and found that an aspirational retirement lifestyle of about $4,000 a month needs roughly 1.3 million. Double that and you get about 2.6 million. So 2.6 will give a couple 8K a month or 96K a year. To keep the math simple, I'm rounding up 2.6 to 3 million and 96K to 100K. So this model also happens to be close to our own situation, so the considerations are largely similar. Now, just to be clear, this excludes our home, plus about $500,000 already designated for both our CPF's full retirement sum and known expenses over the next 5 to 10 years, like our kids' education and gifts we have promised them. So the 3 million is purely investable and is for one purpose, our retirement. At age 55, our asset allocation is really straightforward. Just two asset classes. First one, safe assets. That includes cash, T-bills, Singapore savings bonds, money market funds, and most importantly, CPF OA, ordinary account. Second one is the risk assets, which is mainly just equities, represented by the MSCI World Index. The split is 1 million in safe assets and 2 million in risk assets. Within the 1 million safe assets, half sits inside CPFOA and the other half in cash-like instruments, averaging around 1.5%. First, I will comment on the numbers, then I'll share some personal considerations. Number one, this setup works out to 1/3 in safe assets and 2/3 in risk assets. That aligns quite neatly with the common retirement planning rule of thumb for equities, which is 120 minus age. In our case, 120 minus 55 gives us 65%, which is very close to the 66% in our allocation. For modeling, CPF OA makes up half of our safe asset allocation. I've used 50% simply just as a model, but in reality, you could adjust this anywhere from 0 to 100%. For the non-CPF safe assets, I've assumed a 1.5% return. That's actually conservative, since in practice, we hold about 400,000 in Singapore savings bonds, averaging closer to 3%. The key point is this. If you can't get at least 1.5 to 2% from alternatives, it's actually better to leave more in the CPF OA. The projected composite return for this model portfolio is about 5.33% per year. If you're not familiar with the concept of composite return, I have a video on this which I'll link below. Of course, 5.33% hinges on equities delivering 7% return. This is not going to happen every year. But for discussion's sake, if they do, the portfolio will generate roughly 160,000 a year or about 13.3K a month. In theory, that means we can withdraw 160K annually without touching the principal, thus allowing the portfolio to run indefinitely. Out of the 160K, 20K or about 1.6K per month is guaranteed, since it comes from the safe assets. That amount doesn't change regardless of what happens to equities. Number 5, if you want to raise the composite return, you simply tilt more towards the risk assets. At the maximum of 100% weightage in equities, the portfolio will return an average of 210,000 a year. Next, let me share a few personal considerations with regards to this asset allocation. Number one, the elephant in the room is the 1 million we hold in safe assets. This creates a noticeable cash drag, about $50,000 calculated from 210K minus 160K, which is significant. But when building our portfolio, comfort level matters as much as math. My wife feels far more at ease knowing that we have that amount sitting inside safe assets and that peace of mind is our top priority. Number two, that $1 million also covers roughly 10 years of our expenses, give or take a few overseas holidays. It gives us a strong buffer against sequence of returns risk, black swan events, and rising healthcare costs as we age. Of course, the right buffer is highly personal, and in my readings, no two authors can agree on a figure. For us, we have simply taken Morgan Housel's advice from The Psychology of Money. Set aside whatever amount makes you feel psychologically secure. Number three, we are also pretty flexible with our lifestyle. Over the years, we have taken meaningful steps to limit our lifestyle expansion, and we can adjust our wants to our budgets. If the markets hit a rough patch, we are perfectly fine scaling back. And when markets do well, we don't mind splurging a little more. That mindset adjusting expenses to market cycles is an acquired trait and has become second nature. That helps us align our retirement to an equities-heavy portfolio. And finally, the human component, execution. To borrow a quote from Bill Shankly, a legendary Liverpool manager, a football team is like a piano. You need 8 men to carry it and 3 who can play that damn thing. We have structured our portfolio so that the 2 piano players, my wife and I, can actually manage it. As long as we are in the ballpark of our projected returns, we will be comfortable. The large cash buffer is part of that design, deliberately built to make execution easier and to increase the odds of success. So in short, our setup is simple. 1/3 safe assets, 2/3 risk assets. The math is boring and the return is nothing spectacular. But for us, average and normal is good, as comfort and peace of mind matter just as much. Everybody's mix is going to look a little bit different, and that's okay. The key is finding what lets you sleep well at night. I'd love to hear your thoughts. How do you think about balancing safety and growth in your own retirement planning? Drop a comment below. I always enjoy learning from your perspectives. In my next video, I'll be sharing our withdrawal strategy for this portfolio. Until then, remember, sometimes the best form of aging is just aging normally.